So we're reading from Bhagavad-gita, chapter 2, text 47. Karmani evadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur ma te sangostvi karmani. Translation: you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Purport: there are three considerations here: prescribed duty, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of such actions. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in the mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyari Paschata Deshatharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Karmani evadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhur ma te sangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. The word here, adhikar, is important. Adhikar, karmani eva adhikaraste. Krishna is telling Arjuna, what is your qualification? Because Krishna mentioned different levels of action and different paths that Arjuna could have taken. For example, he told him that you are the soul, and he, in speaking so much about the soul, he was speaking about Sankhya Yoga. So if you just meditate, I'm a soul, I am not the body, and on that platform, that is like a platform of its inaction. And then you have the actual renunciation that was also recommended, giving up work. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, what is your specific qualification? That his qualification is that he should do his work. He should do his work. In other words, he do his duty as a Kshatriya. So, of the different levels of action that Krishna mentioned, he's telling Arjuna that for you, the path is to take action. You should not give up work. Okay, why shouldn't Arjuna give up work? Because why would we tell someone not to give up work? Because someone is not at that stage. Generally, why is work prescribed? Work, in the sense here, work means varnashram. We are given a certain duty. So, or now, as is the case, it's not the best case, but people are doing their own work, different work. Dentist, IT IT professional, all these things, but these are not the Vedic traditional roles. But still, people are sometimes, they're told, okay, you remain in work and become purified, because work will purify. It will, the performer, he will increase in knowledge and he will increase in detachment gradually. By performing our work, gradually we become detached, we advance, and we become more qualified to do bhakti. But if someone renounces the work prematurely and so many desires are there, then that's a problem. Okay, so Arjuna was at that stage, Krishna saying that you have to do your swakarma, swakarmana. Your swakarma means your duty, your work, what is prescribed to you. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya, that was his prescribed duty. So by performing our swakarmana, we advance. And that's the purpose, that's why Varnashram is there. The Varnashram system engages everyone in some kind of work, in some Varna. And in this way, they work according to their capacity or what is their role, their guna. And in this way, they advance gradually. Okay, so, but it is provided that the work is carried out properly. If someone is a Kshatriya, if he carries out his work properly, then he'll get that benefit. Okay, so that is according to Shastra. So now, in this purport, before that, we look at that. In this verse, also, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, you carry out your work, but how to carry out the work is also written. It says that you should carry out your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. That means we do some duty, and then we think about what will be the result. I'll enjoy it. I'll get fame, or I'll get the money, or I'll get something. Krishna is telling Arjuna, no, don't look at that result. The best way to do work is to do it and think that I'm doing it for Krishna, in that mood. Okay, in that way it purifies. Okay, and then next he says, Krishna tells Arjuna, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Don't consider yourself the cause, because actually Krishna is the doer. Krishna is the doer, and we are simply the instrument. So Krishna is doing, and we are the instrument. Okay, so then we shouldn't think, he's saying, don't consider yourself the doer of that work or the cause, and don't be attached to not doing your duty. So you might say, I'm not the doer, I'm not getting the result, so I don't want to work. No, Krishna is saying, never be attached to not doing your duty. Okay, now in this purport, Prabhupada writes that there are three considerations. In this, they're talking about work and prescribed duty. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, within this verse, there are three things that are being considered. Okay, one is prescribed duty, the duty that someone should do according to his varna. Prescribed duty, then capricious work. Capricious work means work that I'll do whimsically, my own, whatever I want, I'll do it according to my material desire, sense gratification. I'll just do any work, even if it's in the Veda or not, or recommended for me or not. Okay, capricious work, prescribed duty, and the third thing is inaction. Inaction means not doing your work, like what Arjuna wants to do here. He doesn't want to do his work. Okay.
No.
Okay, so now these are the three to be considered. Okay, prescribed duty, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duty. This word is used for swakarma. Swakarma means the work that one should do according to his varna. So they say swakarma, your work. Okay, that is prescribed for you specifically for someone. Okay, so swakarma. That is the word. Look, let's look at that word prescribe. Prescribe means like if you go to a doctor and you are sick, you have a certain illness. So the doctor will give you the medicine. Okay, so that is prescribed for you, specifically for you. This is the medicine to take according to your disease and according to your particular body and situation. You should take this medicine. Okay, maybe according to age or level of illness. Okay, so that is a prescribed duty, prescribed according to the person. Okay, the disease is bhavarog, the disease of birth and death which we are in. Bhava means the cycle of, well, birth, cycle of birth and death. Bhava rog is disease, the disease of birth and death. So what is our what is prescribed to us? That is different in every birth, because every birth we take different. According to our actions, we'll take a particular kind of body and character and karma. So we'll have different ability, different guna, and so the prescribed duty changes, continuously changes in every birth. It depends on our nature at that particular birth. So this is the superiority of Varnashram. Varnashram culture is that it caters for everyone. You cannot give one particular system of religion for everyone. Rather, it sees the people and then their divisions, so everyone can take a role which they are comfortable with. Okay, that is Varnashram and Vedic culture. Okay, it's prescribed. Okay, different karmas and actions for different people. Okay, as you know, that people may be in Sattvagun, Rajogun, or Tamogun and Rajogun mixed, or Tamogun. They are different mixtures. So one who's now in this age of Kali, it's difficult, because before, if someone was Sattvic, okay, be Brahman. If someone was Rajasic, then they can, Kshatriya. But now everyone is mixed. There's so many Sankara. Sankara means mixed. Varna Sankara, mixed Varna. So it's difficult. How can you give someone a prescription for one particular Varna? Because he's not having the proper, in anyone. And this is because previously, say, a Brahmin will get married to a Brahmana, Kshatriya to a Kshatriya, Vaishya, then the child is of that quality, and then we know, then we give that prescription. But now, capricious, everyone just decides, I want to do this, I want to, it's not, they're not looking at dharma and the future, so karma. So there are different gunas, and according to the gunas, then we are meant to take a particular varna. Arjun was a Kshatriya. He was in the Rajagun, so he was prescribed to be a Kshatriya. So now that means that if Arjun was to do the role of a Kshatriya and act in that way, then he'll get purified. This is his prescribed duty, so karma. It would have been very beneficial to him. So Krishna is telling Arjun, don't be inactive, because Arjun didn't want to work. Arjun was thinking that I don't want to do this war. I don't want to kill my relatives, so I'll not fight. Inaction. Okay, it says in the shloka, Mate sangos akarmani. They should not be in action. Akarmani. Do not do your work. Do not avoid doing your work. Ma sangatva akarmani. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, this is your prescribed duty according to your guna. So you should do this work. This is what you should do. Okay. But he didn't want to work. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that this is sinful. Inaction is sinful. Never be attached to not doing your duty. Actually, there is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam that as long as the soul, the jiva, I think this is in 6th canto, Yamaraj is saying, as long as the soul, the jiva, is materially contaminated, then he must follow Vedic injunction. He must follow his role in Varnashram to get purified. And if he's able to do bhakti and fully worship Krishna, then okay, then he doesn't need to do his duty. But who can do that? Who is doing that? I mean, right now, we are all trying to be pure. So until we don't, we have to take our position in Varnashram for purification. And this is Vishnu's system. It says that Varnashram Acharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aradete Pantha Nanya Tattosha Karanam. For the Jiva to please Vishnu, there is no other way than by worshipping Vishnu, by doing his prescribed duty. Varnashram Acharvata Purushena Parapuman. Vishnu Aradyate Panta Nanya Tattosha. There's no other way to satisfy Vishnu except by doing our role in Varnashram. Of course, it goes without saying that if someone is fully practicing bhakti process, that is even better. But that's the problem, that people are not on that level, so many of them. So they have to take it gradually. So yeah, as I mentioned, that Krishna says here, don't be attached to not doing your duty. Now that's sin, that is sinful. I'll give an example. Supposing somebody is walking on the road and behind him a car is coming at full speed, right behind him, is going to hit him. So if a person looking does not tell him that there's a car coming and he gets hit by the car, so then that accident, whatever the blame can come to the person who didn't say, who didn't tell him that there was a car coming to hit you. Okay, why? Because he could have saved that man, he didn't. Okay, he could have done something to avert the situation and he didn't. So similarly, the jiva can do his duty and get elevated, but if he doesn't do it, this is sinful. This is like somebody who commits suicide. It's not right, because you're given a life and you have to use that life. Okay, many people who are not religious, they don't have idea about suicide, but according to Shastra, it is sinful and we'll take birth as a ghost. Okay, so we're meant to follow our duty. So now this, if someone commits suicide, it's sinful. Why? Because he's given the body and he's supposed to use it for Krishna. Krishna gave him the body. So similarly, someone is given a role in Varnashram and according to his guna, and this is the way for purification. If he doesn't do it, then it's a sinful act, because he's been given all facility and he's meant to serve Vishnu now with his body, mind, words according to Varnashram. Okay, the whole society will function like a machine. Everyone will do something, and then to make the society go on, it goes on. All kind of people are there. Okay. So then if Arjun doesn't work, doesn't do his duty, this is simple. Now don't get me this. In the second paragraph of the purport, Prabhupada goes deeper into this idea of karma. Okay. Now he says, as far as prescribed duties are concerned, swakarma, our prescribed duty, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Okay, it's in the purport. What is routine work? Okay, routine work, it says, is performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunction. According to our Varnashram duty, we have to perform routine work. That is the general duty that we are meant to perform, so that we have to do. Okay, the routine work as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunction, without desire for result. How are we supposed to perform our duty in Varnashram? That supposing someone is a Kshatriya or someone is a Brahmana or Vaishya, they read in Bhagavad-gita, the role is given. So you do your role without attachment to result. You do the role as a worship and saying that I'm going to do this role because Vishnu wants me to do this, so I will do that. So that is my offering to God. And so we are not taking the result. I'm not saying this is for me. I'm doing it for me now. I'm doing it for Vishnu. So it has to be in a detached way. But people may not come on that platform in the beginning in a detached way. But that is the aim. Because gradually as we become detached, then it becomes easier to take up bhakti and to come on Sattvic platform. Okay, so routine work must be performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for result. Okay. Now, if someone performs in action in this way, this is action in the mode of goodness. This is karma, someone who does his duty. This is a sattvic way of doing work. Sattvic karma. Sattvic. Where is that word? Yeah. It's a mode of goodness. Okay, so I am not tainting the work or the result with my material desires, because material desires, then that is rajagun, becomes rajasic. No, I am just doing my duty. So that is work in the mode of goodness. Okay. Now, but work with result becomes the cause of bondage. But if we work thinking, I'm trying to achieve this or that thing, we want to achieve something, then that is not auspicious. Okay, why? Because it is tainted by Rajagun. It's Rajagun that I want a certain result. I'm doing the action. Like a Kshatriya is fighting. I'm fighting. Why? Because I'll get money, or because I want victory. Actually, Kshatriyas, they will fight for dharma. For dharma. Not money. They're not meant to fight for money or anything else. Just for dharma, to maintain dharma. They'll be happy. Okay, and then that was, but then if Kshatriyas were not like that, then that was a rajasic karma. But sattvic karma, it seems strange that fighting can be sattvic, but don't look at the action, you look at the consciousness. So Arjun's consciousness fighting for Krishna without result. Labha labhao jaya jayo tato yudhaya yudhyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Labha labhao, that means with whether you get a gain or loss, jaya jayo, and whether you win or lose the war, tato yuddhaya yudhyasva, fight anyway, not thinking about I lose, I'll win, or I'm in a small army, I'll be killed. Just do your duty, fight in detached way. Then that is tato yuddhaya yudhyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. You will not get sin, you will not get any sin for even for killing, because he's doing it as a duty. Okay, routine work. This is very technical, as you can see, going into karma. We are only in chapter 2. Okay, so yeah, without desire. Rajasic work is with desire. Okay. Okay, then we saw that is karma is divided into 3. Routine work, then prescribed work is divided into 3. Okay, namely routine work, emergency work, desired activities. So routine work is our normal duty. Then emergency. Sometimes in an emergency, someone has to perform someone else's prescribed duty. Like a Kshatriya may take a Vaishya's role, or Brahmana may take another role, like a Kshatriya. Or I don't know exactly who can take whose role, but I know none of the 3 ones can take a Shudra's role, that I know. So sometimes one that is called emergency work. Okay, so prescribed duty can be routine, normal, or emergency. Someone will take prescribed duty in an emergency. Or third is desire, like just for my desire, I'll take up like Arjun was out of his desire was going to take a role of a Brahmana and not fight, become non-violent, and then think about Shastra and why should we not fight, become philosophical. So that was his desire, not to fight, so he was speaking like that. But that's not proper. Actually, he's not supposed to do that. That is desired. He's not supposed to desire. He's supposed to just fight, whatever his duty is. Okay, so these were the 3 types of actions. Everyone has his propriety right in regard to prescribed duty, but should act without attachment to result. Such disinterested obligatory activities doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. We have to become detached. It's not easy, and that's why the whole system is there. We are saying detached from work. Who's detached? It's difficult, but that's the aim. Okay. Okay, so that's given. Second prayer. Routine work. Okay. If somebody works and he desires the result, then he will get the good or bad result. But if someone works detached, he'll not get the result. So if Arjun fights thinking, I'm fighting for Krishna as a role as a Kshatriya, he'll not get that sin of killing. But out of his own accord, if Arjun kills someone, for his false ego, which is unlikely, he's an elevated person, but I'm just giving an example. Then if he gives his own desire of, under false ego, kills someone, then he's implicated. But he killed so many people in this war. He was not implicated because he did it in his role as a Kshatriya, following dharma under Krishna's order, prescribed duty. So he did not get, then he'll not get that sin, that result. But if we attach to the result, then we'll have to pay for it. We'll get it. We'll have to suffer the consequences. Okay, now let's look at a Krishna conscious person. A Krishna conscious person is not bound by his results. Okay, because he works for Krishna. He may look like a person like anyone else working and acting in this world, but his work is dedicated to Krishna consciousness. So he doesn't get a reaction because he gives up the result. Okay, that depends all on the consciousness. One has to come to that consciousness of Krishna consciousness. Then it's not sinful. Otherwise, if we walk in this world, just by walking, eating, doing anything, we kill so many living entities. But if we are always in consciousness that I'm serving Krishna, that means that whatever we do, there's no reaction. There's no, we are not going to be implicated in that reaction. So even if you observe two people, and one is, if we observe two people, so both are doing work, but we see that one whose consciousness is on Krishna, he'll not get the result of that work, not good or bad. He gives up everything to Krishna. So he's not implicated. He'll not get a karmic reaction, but others will. Whoever is taking the result for himself will get a karmic reaction. And the person who is Krishna conscious, he's thinking that my life, my body is dedicated to Krishna, everything in service of Krishna, then he will not get any result for that. If he thinks, he should think, this is the thinking, that I am just an instrument. Later, Krishna tells Arjuna, Maya veta nihata purvameva nimittamatram bhava savya sachin. I already killed all these people. Even before the war started, Krishna told Arjuna that I already killed all these people. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Just become an instrument. Become an instrument in this war. Because Krishna says, I already did everything. So in this way, the Krishna conscious person action is all for Krishna. And he's not getting any result. So now a person might think, okay, I'm not getting any result. And I'm not supposed to fight. No, I'm supposed to fight, but be detached and from the work and from the result. So what's the point? I'm not going to work. Someone might think like that. But then Krishna is saying, no, you have to work. You have to be my instrument. Because the jiva is eternally part of Krishna and meant to serve the whole. The small part is meant to serve the whole part. So we are meant to serve Krishna. Okay, that is our duty. So if the jiva says, no, I will not work, because what's the point? I'm not getting any result. So it's not meant to be like that, because he'll not get, that is adharmic. His dharma is to serve. The jiva's dharma is to serve. So he cannot neglect that. And therefore Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't be attached to inaction. Don't neglect to perform your duty for any reason. Okay, it will elevate you. Krishna is telling Arjuna that you'll be elevated in this duty. It's for your benefit. It is dharmic, so you should do it. Okay, so in the verse it says here, never consider yourself the cause of results of your activities. This is mentioned in a kind of not so deep way, but later on this goes very deep. In chapter 13, for example, Krishna goes much deeper and explains that we are, and 18 also, they talk about the factors of action. When you do action, who is involved? There's a thought, endeavor, super soul, and then finally the doer, me, I mean the one who desired to do the action, the soul. There are many factors involved. Really, who is doing that action? Who is doing the action? So we have to see. Another way is that because the Maya, we are in Maya, so Maya is impelling us to do the action also. That's another consideration. Okay, so you have to understand who's doing the action. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't consider yourself the cause of the result of your activity. Even action we are not doing. The guna is pushing us, like to eat, to sleep, to become envious of someone. This is all under guna. Okay, so that guna is doing that. So therefore, even the result of the action, that is also control. And an intelligent person will know that. Never consider yourself the result of your activities. Krishna is controlling everything. It depends on our karma. It depends on many things. What the result will be. Definitely not much it's not in our hand. Okay. If we have the karma, we may get it. The karmic. If we have karma, then we may get a result. If not, then we won't. Okay, so the work and the result are all under Krishna. So what are we saying now? That the work we do and the worker, the person and the result, all three are under Krishna. Everything is under Krishna. What are we? Then what am I doing? I'm an instrument. I'm practicing, I'm doing my duty as an instrument of Krishna and to fulfill his role and his mission. Although Krishna can do it without us. In the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna had a plan. So he's telling Arjuna to do that. So whether we do it or not, it will happen. It's Krishna's plan. But if we become an instrument, we'll get benefit. We'll get purified. Okay. So everything is under Krishna. Arjuna did not want to fight in the battle. Okay. But Krishna told him that it's your duty to fight. And by doing so, you'll be elevated. Okay. Then through karma, you will be elevated. Karmani eva adhikaraste. And then he also told Arjuna that the work you perform should be according to Shastra, not capricious. Okay, now if I decide to do something, it should be ordained by Shastra. A Kshatriya cannot go away from war. That is given in Bhagavad-gita, chapter 18, text 43, I think. Yuddhecha apalayanam. They give the qualities of a Kshatriya. What is that? It begins with Dhritir Daksham. Tejo Dhritir Daksham. Yuddhecha apalayanam. Yuddhecha apalayanam. That means not running from war, not going away from the war. That is a quality of a Kshatriya. Okay, so then Ishvara Bhava, controlling nature. Okay, I can't remember all of them. But yeah, the role of the Kshatriya is, one is that he should not run away from the war. Okay, so that is capricious work, not according to Shastra. So he should follow Shastra. Anything we do should be on Shastra. Now, Kshatriya leaving the war is not according to Shastra. He's not meant to do that. So Krishna, that is sinful. It's not according to Dharma. So he should not do that. He should fight and he'll go to heaven, or he'll get the victory and get the benefit. Of course, a devotee, Kshatriya, doesn't care about heaven. He just wants to please Krishna. I'm sure Arjuna didn't want that. Okay. In the last sentence of this purport, we see what Krishna says, Prabhupada's writing. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Okay, fighting as a matter of duty. That was the only path. Now, I explain all these points. Okay, so what should he do? What should Arjuna do? Practically speaking, the only good path for Arjuna is to fight. He cannot give up the war. He cannot do anything else. Okay, he cannot take any other path except fight the war. That is auspicious. It will be good for him. Okay, as a matter of duty, if he does it. There's a famous verse in Gita that Swakarmana Abhyarcha Siddhim Vindati Manavaha. Swakarmana, when one does his duty, Abhyarcha, practicing his duty, worshipping Krishna by performing his duty, Swakarma, prescribed duty, Siddhim Vindati Manava, he gets the perfection. How does it start? Yatha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana abhyarchya siddhim vindati manava. Okay, so yatha pravrittir bhutanam, as we can worship the all-pervading Supreme, yatha pravrittir bhutanam, who is pervading everything. So by doing our work, we can also worship him. Swakarmana abhyarchya siddhim vindati manava. It's so important to perform work in Varnashram is directly Krishna's order. So by doing it, we get elevated, and therefore when we get elevated, we come to Sattva Guna. Then it's easy for us to do bhakti. But nowadays there's no Varnashram. Everyone is working in different roles. So they're not being purified and they're very disturbed because they're doing things which are not according to their prescribed duty. So it's so important. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have a right to perform your duty. One, you are not entitled to the fruit of that duty that you do. 2, 3, don't think that when you get the result of doing your duty that it came from your endeavor. No, that it's be detached. Okay. And 4, do not avoid doing your duty. Don't be attached to not. 4 things are considered in this verse by Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. All right, I'll stop. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Either on the chat or on the mic, you can ask me. Okay. Still on chapter 2, text 47. Chapter 2 is a summary of the Gita. So this verse is speaking something about karma. Later, there'll be much more detail about karma, spoken in Karma Yoga, chapter 3. And later, also chapter 4, karma, akarma, like basically it's throughout the Gita. Okay, so no questions? Okay. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.